I was very happy to meet Mr. Dr. Gautam Puri after a very long time. When I was doing the hospital, I used to meet him quite often. And it is a joy meeting you today, Dr. Puri. We, as mountaineers, are very bad speech makers, but good storytellers. And I'll take you back to my Everest days. See, on Everest, there is a process of selection of the team, as they are national team all over India. And India had failed to send people on top in their first expedition. That was in 1960. Then again failed in 1962. And this was the third attempt on Everest. And because it was probably going to be the last expedition, because Nepal was going to close Everest for 5 years. So either we do it or we don't. So the motto of the expedition was to do it or die. And everybody worked with great enthusiasm. Now, while we were here now on the way to the summit, you put up about 7 camps and you go from camp to camp towards the summit. So here we were at the advanced base camp, Camp 2, and the Camp 3 was ahead of us, about two hours climb. And one fine morning, while we were to leave for the other camp, there was a big blast. And we realized that it was an avalanche. But we didn't realize that this avalanche had come over Camp 3, and everything was buried. Those beautiful tents and everything which was lying there was completely buried under 6 feet of snow. And we didn't know what to do, because without oxygen, oxygen cylinders were kept there. Without oxygen, it is not possible to go up after a certain height on Everest. So it was a very difficult task for the climbers and the leader. And the leader decided that it is not possible. We have to close the camp because we can't take a risk of going there and losing somebody or the other. So we went, and I was among the younger climbers. So I went to Captain Kohli, who was the leader of the expedition, that, look, I think we should be given a chance to go up and see if we can retrieve. He said, look, what can you retrieve? Who has ever heard, to retrieve anything at this height on Everest? I persuaded him, and I told him that tomorrow when we go back to Delhi, people will ask, did you make an attempt or not? And how it'll look silly. So then after great persuasion, he allowed, and I went, and about 5 Sherpas with me, and I went to the site. And it was a harrowing look, absolutely desolate. So we surrounded the whole area and started moving inwards and digging. And for first 1 hour, there was no response. We couldn't find the exact location. And we said it is off now. But suddenly my axe hit one of the cylinders, and there was a tinge sound on the cylinder. So we knew where it was, then located 1, 2, 3, all others, and we located almost all the cylinders. And this was a very joyous moment for us, and I got a feeling that nothing would stop us now from reaching the summit. And so we moved on the next morning, and here we were on 29th May on the summit itself. And it was a wonderful feeling looking around, miles of panorama. There was on the south Nepal and India. On the north we had this Tibet and the Central Asia. And although the weather was supposed to be bad, but that day it was just the opposite. And there was a bright sun. I could look at distant peaks and glaciers and whatnot. And when I looked on north at Tibetan Plateau and the Central Asia, there was something in my mind that maybe one day I could travel to Central Asia, because you had read a lot of books on travelers, etc., who had been to these areas, exotic places, etc. So it was in my mind that one day maybe. So this was the end, and we came back. We were coming down. We were happy to have reached the top, but there was a tinge of sadness that hereafter nothing higher will be there to climb, and all roads would lead down. Now, after coming back, 3 months after climbing Everest, there was a war with Pakistan, and I was called there. My unit was in Sonmarg. So I had to go there, and unfortunately during this operation there, I got wounded. And the doctor said it's very serious, and he cannot live more than a couple of hours or maybe this. But then from Delhi, mountains are very, very close to the Mrs. Indira Gandhi and others. So she ordered that send one airplane and get him from Srinagar as soon as possible. So I was brought from Srinagar to Delhi, and was here in the hospital, base hospital, for 2.5 years. They didn't know what to do with me, because they were shifting me from one hospital to the other. But nobody knew what to do, because nobody understood what paraplegia is or quadriplegia and how a spine is to be treated. So things were very bad, and they said, look, you will have to spend less of your life lying down. But that was a very, very bad feeling. So, but we had our mountaineer friends, and they tried to locate, found that there was a hospital called Stoke Mandeville in UK, which was built for the World War II patients. But it had a very long waiting list. So fortunately, we got it through the pressure of the High Commission and Government of India. And when I went there, I saw everything different. I mean, I couldn't imagine the life that people were leading on the wheelchair, happily going around and smiling and doing all sorts of things. So, and I first time came to know what rehabilitation really means and what all rehabilitation can do. So after that, I visited Stoke Mandeville a number of times. But every time I visited that place, it reinforced me into that India, if any country needed a center like this, it was India. And I said, we must have one in India. And I got, with the help of the director there and other people, project made, and came to India and gave it to the Delhi health people, that here is a project and it's also so-and-so, whatever it is. And if this can be recommended to the Ministry of Health, and they can have one hospital like this. So it took quite a while, almost 2 years, running from pillar to post, etc. Then finally I was called by the Health Ministry, the secretary, and everybody was so happy. They say, well, congratulations, Ahluwalia, everything is going to work out very well, and this, that, and the other. So when I met the secretary, he says, this is a unique idea and a very good project, but unfortunately we don't have that right kind of money to put in. So that was a great disappointment. And then the friends who we were 4 or 5 of us who were working on this project, they said that let's resubmit it. But I knew, having worked in the government, that resubmitting is not going to help, because once they have said no, it is no. So then we set up this NGO of the Indian Spinal Injury Center and started doing the work without knowing where the funds are going to come, without knowing what the doctors are going to be, and without knowing anything, but like a mountaineer, what I would call like a yak, just head on, keep going. And we kept working on it, and during those days, Air India had started promotional drive of promoting Himalayan tourism. So they had asked me to go to one or two places. They used to call me to give a talk. So here I was in Rome giving a talk on Himalayan tourism, and I met a lady, and I asked her, that Italian lady, what is she doing, etc. Normally you strike a conversation like this. And she said, I'm a director of the Cooperation Department in the Ministry of External Affairs. So I was wondering what it is. So then she told me that they take on projects which are of national, on the non-governmental side, social projects which help the people, and we not only fund them, but we help them to build up everything. So I said, well, here we are thinking of something like this. So then she said, I don't have to look at the project report will be made by us, but I want to know who are the backbone. If you are there, yes, and we want to know more about you. And those one or two people who were there. So I said, I have written this book, that book, everything was sent. And then they decided that a team would come and visit and see how they can help. So finally I met again the Prime Minister, Italian Prime Minister, Mr. Andreotti, on the trip, and we were able to get $10 million. But the best part was that they appointed one of their own medical hospital as an NGO to work with us, help us for putting up everything. And the result is that the Indian Spine Center is here today. I mean, at a prominent place in Vasant Kunj. Gautam Puri knows about it, and so does others. And it gave a great satisfaction to us. We have been treating a number of people. It's almost 19 years now that this hospital is functioning. And we have a large area, 15 acres of land. 3 acres are still to be utilized, and we are looking for a good project to be put there. So this is the story of Indian Spinal Injury Center. And I think in life, if you really decide upon doing something, or if you dream about something, but you have to make your dream work, and there is no reason why you will not succeed. And I see a lot of youngsters today doing lots of good things, and I'm sure in future they will all be very able professionals, doctors, etc. One thing which worries me is, it is often spoken about, is the nexus between the doctors and the pharma company. And I see that also. That is not good, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to ask you, how much money did you have in your bag? They'll say what good he has done, how many lives he's been able to save. And this is how it should be. We must concentrate on this, because whenever I pick up a new doctor, I ask him, I have young doctors, very good doctors, that look, are you joining to make money or to do work? So if he says he wants to make money, then I say, here, corporate hospitals are there. But if you want to do hard work and make your name count. And we have got a number of doctors now coming up who have got good name, joints and spines and etc. So with these few words, I like to thank you for inviting me, and would like to invite you to come and see the Spinal Center whenever you're that side of the place. Thank you. Last word, that I stood on the summit and I said, I looked at the North, Central Asia. So I did plan an expedition called the Central Asia Expedition, following the Marco Polo route. It was a journey of two and a half months. We went through all these areas of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tibet, China, so many other places. So it was really wonderful. Thank you.
सोचा, हमने सोचा चलना, तू शिखर चढ़, सब कदम चले, तू पग थोड़ा। दुखग्रस्त जीव के लिए तुम आशा हो, संघर्ष सुधा की परिभाषा हो।
I would now like to request Dean Sir to kindly come on stage and felicitate Major Ahluwalia. We would like to thank Sir for coming here and gracing the event, despite him not being well. So thank you so much, Sir.